At the age of 34, Clive Barker is a phenomenon, an award-winning short story writer, an acclaimed novelist, illustrator, playwright, scriptwriter.
There has always been plenty of hype surrounding the Clive Barker horror industry. The man who won British and World Fantasy Awards for his books of blood has recently turned his attention to making macabre movies. And now in film, just as in print, he displays an imagination which can get inside the skin of even the most unsqueamish person to produce bottomless depths of horror.
My imagination has always worked in a pretty dark fashion.
That's an understatement. You consider Creepmeister Clive Barker's track record. His reign of terror at the bookstores has given us ghoulish treats like Weave World, Books of Blood, and Imagica.
Stay in your imagination for a long time, you can't quite get rid of them. One of the ways that I deal with dreams that disturb me is to set them down in some form or other. I did a drawing of this guy years ago.
Do you get up in the middle of the night and draw?
Mm-hmm. I keep a notebook beside the bed, and it's, some people keep a dream journal, which is just words. I keep a dream journal, which is words and images. And it's a way of, I suppose, making an account of what's going on in my subconscious. This is what's going on.
The brain is always working.
Yeah, really. Well, some brains are always working.
What do you talk about on dates, I just wonder?
How my brain works.
Oh, here.
Yeah.
All right.
Painting when I was 45, and it was like opening a door into a whole new world. It was love at first sight. It was like, oh Lord, why have I waited this long to open a tube of this paint? It was like discovering I had another life waiting for me.
Come with us.
While Pinhead's hellish pranks send shivers down moviegoers' spines, Barker believes his film's truly horrifying moments are those that hit much closer to home.
The great scares, I think, in Hellraiser are not really related to Pinhead. They're related to discovering that your stepmother is a murderess with a hammer. I mean, that's the human level upon which the narrative is working.
And we're here. We're live. We have returned. Let's just split that screen real quick, because we got a lot of things to go over. I'm trying to fix my camera. I feel like I completely blew the whole intro tonight. Look. I felt like, what's it been? 2 weeks off. So a lot's happened. We're going to start addressing the Dark Hero info. If you guys don't know it, everything's right below scrolling. Endless Dark Hero updates. And there's just like a ton. There's a ton of things happening, like with Dark Hero, not Dark Hero, Trial by Fire, Uzi Susie. Look, realistically, I'm the busiest comic book wise that I've ever been in my entire life. And welcome to Monday Night Draw and Claw. This is the annual weekly, daily, monthly show that we draw and drink a White Claw. I've had another banger of a day, okay? We're doing Bud Light Seltzer right here, cranberry. Very underrated. A lot of people see that I drink these and they knock the Bud Light Seltzers. I don't know why. I was watching football this weekend, watching football Thursday. Not watching football tonight because we're doing this. And look, we're going to top it off with some good old Red Bull here, okay? So, we're not watching football. We should be watching football. I'm wearing my Bo Jackson jersey shirt from Mitchell and Ness here in Philly, because Bo Jack legit is my all-time favorite football player, athlete. The idea that he can play two sports, he can be many things at one time. These things are meaningful, very relevant to me. I always say, one of the things I preach is that you can stretch yourself out and you can do it all. Bo Jackson represents that, and we're knee deep in football season. I absolutely love the NFL. I really do. Last year, it was tough to watch with all the COVID stuff, just because the level of competition is not the same. But we're going to be rocking and rolling. Tonight, we're going to be cracking into Inktober. But I wanted to kind of just go through some things, what to expect on upcoming streams. I'm still on multiple deadlines. Like I said, this is the busiest I've ever been stream-wise, comic book-wise, my entire freaking life. So, I mean, why are we blurry? Are we blurry here? Like, do I have to fix the lens here? Maybe I had to fix the lens, people. I'm sorry. It looks pixelated. It doesn't look like it's really bright because of maybe a connection. This camera looks 100% legit. I've been going through a couple sound issues. There's always sound issues. So I got to make a technology run, but the 2 weeks I spent away really were, I mean, Dark Hero kind of had nothing to do with it. If we were still promoting Dark Hero, if Chris and I were still doing stuff, like I still would have done it. I still would have made it work. That's a part of the engine, that like the promo sphere that you have to create when you go into crowdfunding. And look, you got to do a couple things when you go into crowdfunding. Like you have to, like you kind of have to get better creating, get better project managing, get better pipelining all your work while producing the work. Okay, so these are a lot of the things. And look, we're still doing, like if you guys really want to talk about Dark Hero real quick, we're still doing a Dark Hero expose. Because I look. Chris Hicks, fake writer Chris Dix, as I call him, still can't pick up the phone, still can't return a phone call. And this is all before he did his Twitter announcement and blocked me on like every single social media platform. I was like 50-50 on even here. We should just open this up real quick. Like I was 50-50 on even doing anything. Like technically I would have been fine dropping the project, moving on. But like the idea that he really robbed 5 months of my life while I could have been working on Trial Wi-Fi or building better other relationships, all these things. And look, when you get involved with things online, you always take a risk. All that's understood. But on top of that, there was somewhat, like there was a legit excitement, a legit momentum. Even to this day, I love talking Dark Hero. I love working on Dark Hero. I believe that Dark Hero is, I know this sounds crazy, and I know it's blasphemous, but I still believe that Dark Hero is a Watchmen level book. It really is. I believe the things we were doing. So going into a lot of this, the fallout with Chris was look. He at the a lot of it boils down to him like just not doing work. Okay, and he had like a little bit of a moment, a little bit of a meltdown when I confronted him about what I wasn't seeing in the share folder. One of the things that really set me off, that like I really hit the roof over the budget. Okay, the format of the budget, it wasn't updated for months. We had a couple vendors that he could have been contacting with, like in contact with, for a very important incentive. He really wasn't. Okay, I would constantly have like basic, typical questions, like very simple simple questions for him about some of this stuff. And then like the time came where we were going to launch in like first week of August. And look, I'm going to try and break down these timelines and explain everything to everyone as best I can with a video series called The Dark Hero Chronicles, or The Rise and Fall and Rise Again of Dark Hero. I don't know. I love them both. I really do. I honestly, God, I love both of those. So, and the time came to color this book, and my one workstation went crazy. I had to rush by replacement parts. I had to have another computer shipped in to me from Florida. I was on the phone with him immediately when I kind of was seeing what the solution was. Sometimes it could take a good day to find a solution. Keep in mind, I've been working in IT for a good stretch here. So I'm an IT guy. Like these things are not new to me. So during this, it was like, hey, can we push it back 2 weeks? Let's push it back 2 weeks. And we had like momentum. Like pages were getting colored. We were going through what each of these prologue pages represented. My vision for the campaign was to be able to showcase the hook, the premise of the series, and basically have that available for free. I still want that. I want that available on every single free network, period. Now, that will be included inside the book. So 12 pages will be given away for free. The rest of the book will be clear. Hold up. I think we have a Dark Hero message right here. What was the app you were streaming today live? StreamYard. All right. Here we go. Dude, we support each other, okay? Yeah, so let me just turn off the volume. Yeah, so like some of Dark Hero slowed down with this coloring, but it was getting done. It was looking really good. And like the time was coming that we had to really nail down these 12 pages. The 12-page prologue for Dark Hero, probably like the most important like 12 pages or important like part of a story I've ever worked on. Just because the ideas around Dark Hero, I say this a lot, like they're vast, they're detailed, they echo other properties, and I just believe there's a very fine, like delicate balancing act that it takes. So like the time was coming for Chris to kind of be a writer. And we had enough, like just through our verbal discussions, like phone discussions, we had enough through verbal. We had memos, we had corrected documents in our share folder. And then we had like giant text threads where the nuance of Dark Hero was analyzed. And some of it was like me like exercising some of these demons, some of these tropes that Chris was clinging on to on how he was defining the book. So imagine like you're trying to tell like a story about the NFL, and you're telling the story about football players, and you want to have a position of these football players that are not in any movie trope, sports like characteristic trope. Like you find an avenue to have this original take of these characters and what they're going to go through. But like everyone else working on this project goes right through the trope because they're not, like, it really comes down to like them not trying. Okay. So, and this was like a disconnect. This was a break very early on within Dark Hero. But part of the push was that the hook, in my opinion, was so valuable. Like, like we had to fight through. We had to kind of go through this phase of pain and agony, well-earned pain and agony, okay? So, and because I was going through it too. And then, like, eventually it came around to when he wrote these 12 pages. It was just, it was very bad. It was very bad, even from the content, like, even from, like, the framework of how it was written. Okay? It was just bad. And this is a person, like, this is why I call him fake writer Chris Hicks, because I said I could draw, and I can draw. Okay? He said he could write, and through these 5 months, I didn't see any of that from him. What I saw was very desperate attempts to get by. And yeah, like, that's why I call him, like, fake writer Chris Hicks. I think that's awesome. I think that's a great nickname. And then, like, along the way, we had a lot of people excited, ready to support the book. When we were really going to discuss what the plot of it was, would have been the release of this 12-page prologue. And yeah, like, I'm really look, I talked him off the ledge one time. It was a 2-hour and 20-something minute conversation. Okay. And keep in mind too, like, Chris and I would talk for 2, 3, 4 hours at a stretch easily. And a lot of it was trying to define exactly what Dark Hero was. Like, how much of these tropes, how much of these, like, how much of this low-hanging fruit do we, like, let creep into the story? And look, I've been very clear on some of these reference points of Dark Hero. I'm deeply connected to these reference points because I'm constantly reading, I'm constantly studying this stuff. I commit a lot of time to really understand it. And I would harangue him about, like, him having, like, 5 months. And, sometimes it would be, like, 1 month, 2 months, 3. Like, like, I would harangue him on becoming more educated on exactly what he was trying to emulate, even when Dark Hero was the original, like, concept. Right? So it's all of that stuff. Okay. So Dark Hero, like, maybe I'll just, like, cut this out, and then we would, like, maybe a little bit of a precursor of Dark Hero update there. But Dark Hero, 2 share folders are going to go out this week. One for the pinups, one for the tastemakers. The tastemakers involved with Dark Hero, they are going to be the live interactive focus group that will participate in the pages and the story, the captions, the word balloons, the visuals, because of the bigger concepts that I believe Dark Hero is. These tastemakers, though, they'll be rewarded for sure. Okay. The pinups and some of the additional character artwork will go out this week. I'm still locked into some of these deadlines. I'm just, like, rushing to complete. So we're doing that. Going to rebuild the campaign, and then there's going to be a nice effing run of these videos where we're going to do, like, some very cool videos involving Dark Hero, pushing some of these further concepts. So like, there's a little bit of an outreach with this book that I ain't do with Trial by Fire, I ain't do with Dark Hero. Also with Uzi Susie. Uzi Susie is back at the printer today. track down someone local here in Philly that I'm pretty confident can handle it. I might have a sample tomorrow. Okay. Oh, and full delivery if the samples go by the end of the week. Those editions for Uzi Susie are I call them they're pink editions, pink covers, because all of Uzi Susie's black and white, but they're pink. And this run will only go out to the early adopters. So if this printer works out, there's going to be a regular evolution. And then, like real quick though, I mean, geez, there's just a lot. I mean, I got to clean up a little bit of what I have here. But look, we have Uzi Susie like 2 and 3 right here. Okay. Uzi Susie 2 and 3. If everything goes well with this printer, there's a very high chance that Uzi Susie could be monthly for a good stretch. Okay, so Uzi Susie will develop into a full engine. So we got here's the thing. Like, let's just kind of take me out. We have a lot of stuff to discuss. If you guys really want to see what I've been busy with, this is my June Tune sketchbook. This is roughly like 3 sittings worth, but I'm trying to complete this before Inktober. I'm also going to try and get like a really good head start on my Inktober sketchbook. That's why we're working on it tonight, because I really want to do Jacktober. Why are we? I feel like everything is just lacking tonight. But we're going to go for an Inktober sketchbook and a Jacktober sketchbook back to back. Okay, we're going to really try and do 2 sketchbooks in a short amount of time. But here, like, I'm already up to day 20, right? Day 21 I have muscular. So then I was thinking about making this a flip book and having June Tune like 2021 and June Tune 2020 here. So here's one of the things that this is real quick, okay? Dallas, by the way, has been eating that. But layouts, right? Because we do layouts. And we have like full pages on that, like ready to go. People, I just bought the, how crazy is this? The Armageddon. It's the novelization, all right? So I was thinking about doing a dramatic reading of this all by myself, either for YouTube or my podcast. So updates coming on that. Look, if we just want like more conversation a little bit about like my my sketchbooks and why they're important, or the sketchbook challenges or why they are important, this is it. Look no further, okay? This mermaid one took well over a year. Took a little bit too long to do. Coming up, I really wanted to do someone like tagged Trent in this, Trent Canigua from Creed. I dug this out of a box of books at the used bookstore. I think I paid like $1 for it, which is, I'm overpaying for that, but I kind of wanted to do a live stream on this. Let's get some of that branding in there. We need some of that branding. Where's it at? Right here. Ready? Boom. Okay. This is really like this book itself just upsets me a ton. It upsets me a ton because it should have been a part of this like coming out party, like you have arrived, quote unquote, type position that Marvel should have had with Trent Canigua. And it's heartbreaking when I go through his Marvel work. It really is. I don't think he ever really rebounded from it. like comic book wise. And tonight we'll be doing Clive Barker. If you're not familiar with Clive Barker, his artwork is just nothing but deeply inspirational to me. It really is. And I just thought we would hang out and do almost like a straight up Inktober session. And this was maybe like the first book I read of Clive Barker, The Thief of Always. And the illustrations in here, like even like the trade dress for the chapter titles. Like I'm just trying to get some of these like drawings, but the illustrations here are always captured me, really. Like even here, like you see, you can kind of just see like the dry brush just working. And I'm like, I know he drew some of these. Some of these you can tell were Clive Barker drawings. Some of them might have been emulated, right? I mean, even look, by the time this book came out, he only had the Magica, the Great and Secret Show, Cabal, Weaver World, Damnation Game, Inhuman Condition, In the Flesh, and the Books of Blood 1, 2, and 3. His Books in Blood, yeah, illustrated by Clive Barker. The illustrations for here, for like really him being a filmmaker, author, artist, I think they're pretty advanced. I think they show a lot of potential. So the Thief of Always is one of, I mean, I know this became right Boom Studios or someone, IDW did a book series on that. But yeah, I really just wanted us to get into just working in this amazing $6 newsprint sketchbook. And I kind of, look, I already just started drawing in this. So we have like contents. All right, yeah, day one. So I didn't get to any of the prompts yet, but I thought we would like maybe even experiment with how the ink, because we need black ink for this. It's Inktober, but if, just experiment a little bit on let's see how ink takes to this paper, and if not, we may have to get rid of it. Start a new sketchbook. And we are going to need a couple bleeder pages here. And that's it. So people, we got Skull Diamond. Yeah, so Skull Diamond's already working on his Dark Hero pinup. Skull Diamond is one of the generals in AKA Pad Army. Thank you so much, dude. Everyone follow him. But yeah, I mean, I'm not good. I kind of really wasn't in the mood to talk much tonight. But I thought I would use some like old brushes of mine, like this one here. This ink is a little bit too thick. I thought maybe we would just like start to use up the ink and just start, I don't know, drawing Clive Barker style. How cool is that? Dude, Clive Barker, though, is just like growing up, it wasn't uncommon to be a little bit more into Clive Barker than Stephen King, which I just loved. So let's see so like, look, we do have some bleeding here. So it's going to be tough to do artwork that goes through these over and through these pages, but we will, like, that's why we build out these sketchbooks so we can learn about the actual paper. But yeah, it wasn't uncommon for you to be a little bit more of a Clive Barker head than like a Stephen King fanboy. And today it's just like that's a little bit of a wonky idea because Clive Barker, I never followed him through and through. And maybe like anyone out there, if they want to like correct me or really fill me in, but I know Clive Barker got sick. Right? Like I know he got sick, and I know that affected his work. And that's like the little bit of the scary thing, which is to kind of like stay relevant, you have to just continue to work. You have to work so much. And I really do love the idea of just doing these like loose gesture based like drawings here for Inktober. I think they just fit the mood for Inktober being like around Halloween. Last year I did a Halloween theme, like finally. And I just really enjoyed it. Like I was doing one horror icon, I was matching up the horror icon to the prompt as best I could. So here we go. Like I remember like back when I was even in high school, I think I was trying to do drawings a lot like what I was seeing in Clive Barker. Not because I wanted to be like known for drawing Clive Barker, because I just saw like value in being able to render like the way how he, to kind of just like emulate him and learn. Just a lot of stuff to kind of goes away when we get older. It's just depressing. But yeah, so we'll have to still experiment with the ink, this paper. If we're going to use whiteout, if we're going to kind of do some subtraction as we go along. But when you're kind of working a little bit in a Clive Barker style, it's so tough to have a paper that doesn't bleed too well. But this paper allows you to dry brush pretty well, so we can kind of use some of that to our advantage. Use the dry brush for some nice gray values that will have like a charcoal effect. And I got some brushes here we can just use and play with for those reasons, which is good. And Sketchbook of the absolute the absolute best thing for you if you're really trying to develop your discipline of drawing. I'm not sure if there's like a better way, there's a better technique to really grow yourself, to expand. Let's see. Yeah, so this paper will bleed all the way through. We'll just have to kind of keep that in mind. I don't think we're going to get a lot of opportunity to do spreads and pages and stuff, like front and back. But that's to be expected with something like newsprint. We'll add some like nice dark value up here. So this is crazy. This, all the years that I've been doing Inktober too, this is like the absolute most I've been ahead of it. And last year I thought I handled, because I do Inktober and what's called the 31 Days of Dread for my podcast. And last year, I thought I handled both of them like so well. So it gave me a little bit more confidence this year to just get ahead of all of it. Yeah, and I am not even used to like the level of absorption that is on this newsprint. Like I'm not used to it like at all. It's a little bit scary. And I kind of wanted to give this sketchbook a creepy name to emulate Clive Barker as much as possible. But Clive Barker, I mean, that's why I kind of made that intro video, because his level of work is just, it's just phenomenal. It really is. nailing down your ink effects it's a part of drawing, it's a part of learning. Yeah, I know it can it's not really the exciting part, but I don't care. It's essential. You have to learn it. So I wasn't too loose working on this. I don't think I was. A little bit too stiff already. But it's there, so we'll just look. We'll just have to keep going. So it's really going to be so tough. It's going to be real tough to do things here. Like my whole objective tonight was to kind of like maybe just start to figure out a little bit of like how some of this was just going to work. Like really. But again, you got to be aggressive about how you learn something. Sketchbooks, even though they're a sketchbook challenge or themed, a sketchbook will exist for you to learn from. Like, and that is it. Yeah, and Clive Barker too also did this amazing toy line called Tortured Souls with Todd McFarlane. That might have been the last like nuanced great thing that McFarlane was like a part of. Like no joke. That toy line instantly became like something legendary. So with this would be like trade art or insert art. And you really, I mean, when you're trying to learn a style, a sketchbook, new materials, new techniques, yeah, like you still don't have a lot of time and space to figure it out before you actually start hitting like those prompts. So yeah, I'm very conscious of that right now. I'm just trying to just do something recognizable that you can still tell is horror. We always draw nipples here, by the way. Nipples we're big on nipples. Yeah, and I so like I get so anxious when I start sketchbooks. I just want to see them like complete like so much. It really just occupies everything. Yeah, and when it comes to Uzi Susie too, like once once like those are good to go, I mean, the battle's going to start again for the Trial by Fire printer. Like equally, because Uzi Susie was just so heartbreaking sometimes. I mean, like literally just like a series of vendors yesing me to death, and me being like very vocal with them, because like like I work in print, like like we kind of know the same like lingo and requirements and stuff. And dude, like even one of them was like pre-checking files for print, and then it's just like bang, like ghosted. And look, I get like I get it. I know, when it comes to like Uzi Susie and stuff, like I'm not a huge account, but like it doesn't mean I may not be like I could be like one or two campaigns away from that. And a lot of these printers work with crowdfunders. Like they kind of know the game. They know what they're getting into. Like like I've had discussions like that with some of them. Yeah, so like it really will. It will take time to get this stuff down. And I'm really, really up for the challenge. I really am. I think it's awesome. See, like this brush is just like completely done. But a lot of times, like your objective when working with new material, look, I know it's a cliche, but you kind of have to be a little bit ballsy, like a little bit fearless, and you just have to kind of be willing to see where the road takes you. And that's a lot of where technique comes from. Because if you work in a medium long enough, you're yearn to kind of learn more and to experiment more, but you're also like you'll understand that there's a little bit of a correspondence when it comes to deadlines and technique, because you'll have to change up your technique and the way how you're communicating some things to meet a deadline. Yeah, and that's something too. I'm sure they teach you that in our school, right? I'm positive they teach you that in our school. But it's hard not to deny or to deny Clive Barker as really being, I believe, the center of American horror. Like Imagica and the Great and Secret Show are they're insane. They're insanely good. And if you consider like the age that he was when he wrote those, it gets even more impressive, you know. But yeah, and we're just going to try and emulate more and more of these Barkerisms when it comes to his, you know, like his vision of what demons were, his visions of what like made a monster, like because his creatures, his monsters, his take on like what you can kind of argue is hell in something like Hellraiser, because Hellraiser kind of the Hellbound Heart, which is the story that Hellraiser is based on. Like hell's not explicit in that, and that's one of the things that makes Hellbound Heart so freaking good. It's just next level thinking, next level stuff. Yeah, and I really did want to kind of get a little bit away from doing some of my like traditional artwork. I just wanted to explore a little bit. So, you know, like a couple things are just adding up for me on Inktober, but that doesn't mean it may not shift when I do Jacktober. Like, cause you know, like I think for that one I'll have to be a little bit more traditional if everything works out as if you know, like I'm participating in Jacktober. And again, too, like I don't know, we want to play with this type of paper. Like really explore just ideas about it. Like, what can the paper do? What can the ink do? Like, again, and this is a tactile type of art. Like it's hard to get this stuff via digital. And I know there's a lot of pushback against that right now. So I mean, I think some of it's getting there. I do think it will take some time, some additional time. Like, what is this? Like, what are we doing here? And I'm sure it's not many, but for whatever reason, I always associate like Barker's artwork with like very creepy like stick drawings of figures. And I don't know why. It's probably because there's been probably like only one or two of them, but they're just like stuck in my head. Like I never even. I think maybe I knew it, but right. I mean, Clive Barker, or did he change his name? Because I want to say he did. Yeah, see, like almost like the blotches and stuff too. Just it all reminds me of Barker's like style, and that doesn't mean it. Like it could be like a definite tell of his style. It just means it's like maybe there sometimes, but it's there like enough. Kind of want to say like this kind of needed some of that too. Yeah, I mean, it's going to take a little bit, but we're started. We're going to be doing more live streams with Barker within the Barkerverse. So, all right, everyone. Hey, I gotta go. Thanks for hanging out. I do appreciate it. A lot of updates coming via video, so just be on the lookout for things. Rock and roll, and I love you.